The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello and welcome to the People's View, and welcome to Pam Tucker, our vice chair of the GOP in New Hampshire.
Great.
First of all, I want to congratulate you and Steve for being reelected and doing such a good job last year to get turn legislation into Republican legislation.
Well, thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you so much. And Carl, so glad to be here with you again. I always enjoy our little chats that we have.
We have a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
We do.
You brought your library with you.
I brought a stack.
But what do you think? What is the GOP going to do? What are they going to focus on this year and next year?
Well, I want to say this. There's a lot of people out there who are talking about the Republican Party, how it's divided, the Trump people, the anti-Trump, you name it, there's a faction. We're not alone. We know the Democrats have their own problems, especially down in Washington. But I can say this about the Republican Party. We're doing well, and we're doing well here in New Hampshire as well. Of all the states in the Union, all 50 of us, there was a huge push by the Democrats, and certainly by us, to gain control of the state House and Senates, because we all know that it was a time for redistricting, and we can redraw the maps. And so the Democrats dumped a lot of money nationally in races to try and pick up some of the seats. And of all of the 100 legislative bodies, House and Senate, Republicans maintained their position in all of them, and in only one did they gain, and that was New Hampshire. And not only did we gain just one House, we gained two. We gained the Senate and we gained the House. So we were the only state in the Union to do that. So in addition to having a great Republican governor, we now have a Republican House and a Republican Senate to support him and pass all those pieces of legislation that went through, so he doesn't have to get out that red veto pen.
That's right.
I think he'll be sending back a lot of those red pens to all the people who were sending them to in the past 2 years. And in addition to that, we also took the executive council.
Right, which is amazing. I'm really happy about that.
Well, it's amazing because great people like Ryan Terrell were not given the opportunity to serve on the Board of Education last year, but now he does have the opportunity to represent Nashua and really do a good job down there. So I'm very proud of him. And thank you, because I met him through the Nashua Republican Committee. So what we're doing is we've helped those people get elected to help support Governor Sununu, and now we're going to help them and support them in terms of the good legislation they're going to pass for the people of New Hampshire to make this state truly a great place to live and work. That is, live free or die. No taxes, no income tax, no sales tax. Not now, not ever, right?
Yeah, and even with the restrictions of the virus and everything, our economy is coming back.
Well, it is.
Unemployment is getting down there where it used to be.
Aren't we down to like near 4%?
Yeah.
And I think we're almost 2 points lower than the national average. Right. And you see signs, help wanted signs everywhere. I heard on the radio, Walmart's hiring upwards of $20 an hour. That's $40,000 a year job.
Yeah.
That's a good paying job. That's not a minimum wage job.
Right.
And who's hiring at minimum wage? Do you know anyone who's hiring at minimum wage?
Well, I don't think you really need that, because I think the economy really drives up the income, because there's more and more requirements, and you pay higher wages, and that brings everybody up.
Exactly. It really does. And so there isn't a need for increasing the minimum wage, and certainly not doubling it to $15 an hour. It's meant as an entry level, not as a lifetime support. I mean, if you're 60 years old and you've been working at minimum wage your whole life, there's some other issues there other than your wage. I'll be honest. I mean, my kids, you look at my kids, how are they going to start a job? At $15 an hour. I mean, McDonald's is going to go to automation before it's going to pay them $15 an hour pay their benefits in terms of, they have to pay FICA and the like, but also wondering if they're going to show up for work, hiring, training, the whole process. It's huge. So I know we got off on minimum wage, but I think keeping it where it is great, because our state's well above that, and we need people to enter the workforce, and especially at the younger age group. The minimum wage, any of my daughters is not paid minimum wage. She's paid well above that.
Yeah. So you have some plans set to you really start up the countryside, and you have a little bit more difficulty in the cities to get the Republicans out to vote there, or maybe the independents.
And getting the message out.
Yeah.
It is hard in terms of getting what the Republican message is, because a lot of people just listen to the national news, and so they see the national news, and like it or not, they're not on our side, and we know that. So you see all of these other outlets popping up. But what we need to do is get through all of that noise in the national news and let people on the local level know what the Republican Party is about. And, one of the things we're about great schools, not just good schools. We're about great schools and great education for your kids.
Right.
We want every child to have the best educational opportunity available. And that means if it's a public school, let them be able to choose through the public schools which one they can go to. They shouldn't be limited by their zip code of where they can go to school. I mean, that's just not fair to the students. So we want the best education because, quite honestly, that's our future. Those are the people who are going to be taking care of us when we get old. The other thing we want is safe roads and good roads. I mean, that's one of the roles of government here. We don't want to cut that off. We want safety. We want public safety. We don't want people rioting in the street and burning down buildings and blocking off parts of cities. That's not what New Hampshire's about. We're about families and communities and working together and getting along. We're about great jobs. And what Governor Sununu has done is make sure New Hampshire's about that as well. And you can see that economically with our low unemployment, our higher than average wages, and all the help wanted signs around the state. So let's keep it like that.
And a lot of new companies that are looking for a place to come to, and this is a place to come to. It has a lot of different things for you.
Yes.
Not only a good job, but I mean a good environment. And I think we pay attention to that too.
Well, we have to, and it's a great place to live. And you see that right now, the huge exodus coming up from both Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, coming up here. I mean, I'm sure it's happening here in Nashua. I live over on the seacoast, and there's just no inventory of houses. And the prices...
You're right. Sky high.
Sky high. I mean, I guess that'll work well for our towns because now with the higher prices, we'll have higher assessed values and higher incomes.
That's something too.
But that's all good. But in the same token, it is. The value of the housing has gone up because so many people want to come up to our great state and experience the no income tax, no sales tax, the great the comfort of living up here. I mean, that's why I chose to live here, and so many people choose to live in New Hampshire. So,
I agree with you.
Well, we got to keep it that way,
okay.
And that's why we're here. We're here to make that happen. The Republican Party.
Well, I think there's a lot of things on your list. There must be to make it even better.
Well, what we would like to do is work on getting our message out there, and not just out into the suburban communities, but let's go into the cities and let them know that what you want as a person in your city is what we want at the Republican Party. And our message just really hasn't been reaching there. So we really need to start going into territories and talking to people we haven't talked to before, and not be afraid to talk to people who necessarily disagree with us. I think that's where the barrier is. And if people have open minds and open hearts, we can get through to them to let them know that we really have the exact same values in mind of strong families and communities. And that's all we want.
Yeah. And I think in general, our police force and our fire departments are really well functioned, and they can make us safe anyway. We have well, let's just say we're not a Boston, Massachusetts, or
No, we're not.
or Chicago, or the state of Washington, or whatever.
No, we're not. And the people who are the firefighters and the police, they're our neighbors and our friends. I mean, they come to our house, and that's who we are in New Hampshire. I mean, as we say in New Hampshire, it's not 6 degrees of separation. It's really 2 degrees that there's somebody who knows you.
Right, right.
So be careful what you say too, right? Always be kind.
So are you building up the membership in any way? Are you trying to get more people coming to our Republican meetings that go around the state? I mean, for every town and city?
Sure. So we're just starting to build up now, as we had a delay in the elections for chair and vice chair, so I wasn't elected until February instead of January. So it took a little bit to start rolling the ball again, but we're up and rolling. I just spent a whole day volunteering up in the office, working on a bunch of projects. But yes, to answer your question, we are expanding. We've got great chairs on the county level. We're working on expanding the number of town committees that we have. And the town committees, or city committees in the case of Nashua, we're working on expanding the reach and to grow those committees. Because that's what it's going to take to win elections, is to get a voice out there to everyone. And so the only way to do that is someone's got to take the stick and start running with it. And that's what we're doing. And what we at the NHGOP want to do is help the city and town committees in any way possible in terms of outreach, like coming here and talking and telling you what we're about, financial support. How do we raise funds to help get our message out? Because that's what it takes. Yeah. How to, work the social media platforms and expand our presence on social media, expand your presence on social media. So we're working all channels. We've got a great executive director up there now, Joe Sweeney. He's been there a while. He's also a state representative, and we're hiring more. So that will help expand our reach, because we'll have a lot more people up there. I do want to point out that our office, when we won back New Hampshire last time, we had 2 staffers. Our counterparts, the Democrats, probably had upwards of 14.
Oh, yeah?
So I give a lot of kudos to Joe and Elliot when they were there. They did an excellent job with just 2 of them. So God bless them and thank them.
Well, I know we work on with very dedicated people that really see a need to do it. I'm not sure how the other side works, but they have a lot of people.
Yes.
And down here in Nashua, I think we're a little bit more organized than us, but I think we can outdo them. We did it in 2010, if you remember that.
Yes, we did.
That I remember very well, because everything happened where we had here 22 Republicans in the state legislature.
Amazing.
And last year, we only had 1. So we got to get people out here in Nashua. They can do a lot up there in Concord, as well as in the city itself. And that's what we're looking to do. And people, if you're interested, NashuaGOP.org is our website, and come to our meetings.
Oh, sure. We'll help you learn how to run for office.
Right.
And running for office it's not complicated. Anyone can do it, and don't think, oh, I can't do it. Anyone can. It is your neighbors who are up there who are passing laws that affect your life and taking money out of your wallet. So we want to help you with that. We'll show you how to raise money. We'll show you how to get your name out there. We will help you with your literature. We'll help you with volunteers. And you know what the best part of it is meeting everyone and campaigning.
You make some good friends up there.
Oh my goodness. We met, 10, 11 years ago. Yeah. And you're just one of hundreds, and I literally say hundreds of people that I can say are friends of mine. Yeah. And what's a neat thing about being a state representative, we'll talk about local, but is when you're driving around the state, you go, oh yeah, I know someone from that town. Oh, I know someone. Yeah. So like if you break down, you know who to call. There's someone in every town, which just makes it quite nice. And on both sides of the aisle, there's a lot of partisanship, but you know what? You are friends with people on the other side.
And you get
of
to
the
know
aisle.
things. Each organization runs something, and sometimes you get to know. But you go up there. They have one group has a thing on Lake Winnipesaukee every year. You know.
Oh yeah.
And you meet them all there, and all the areas like that. But it's interesting to get down to the nitty gritty on how you make legislation. And how you do it up there.
It's really a sausage, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and no one's happy, so that means it's a good bill.
Well, we do a lot with as small a support as I've ever seen. We only have a few lawyers. We don't have an office of our own. We have maybe a drawer in a cabinet for the representatives. The senates are a little bit better because they only have 24 of them, so they get a better office and stuff. But it is good because you're working with people, and you're getting a lot of people who aren't politicians, if you will. You know, I don't want to say it's a bad word, but it has a bad aura to it in a way.
Exactly. And that's just what I was talking about, where people say, I can't do the job.
Right.
You can.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is a learning curve. With anything, there's a learning curve. But there's so much support there in your committee, from your colleagues, with your seatmates, because you're mixed up with so many people in different scenarios. It's wonderful. And you'll have all that support. And yeah, you'll learn. And you'll learn about legislation. You'll learn how to read bills and about blurbs and majority, minorities, you know, OTP, ITL, you know, all of the language, the jargon that they use up there. And it's the best thing about it is it's very, very interesting too. And you do come out smarter than when you went in. Well, most of us do, I think.
And it's always rewarding when you see some of the people that come back and thank you for doing something that enhance their lives.
Yes.
You know,
yeah, you did something better for someone. I mean, the easy pieces are renaming a bridge for someone who died in battle.
That's true.
I don't mean easy because it's terrible that they lost their lives, but to do that it's very honorable, and you feel that inside of you to do things like that. So there is a lot of reward. It is work. But you got to start somewhere, and getting involved locally is a great place to be. You know, especially we need quality people who truly care about your school boards, about your planning boards.
That's right.
You know, the mayor's office. You work up. If you want to be mayor, you know, run for mayor. Why not?
Right.
If you think you can do a better job, please do, and would love to talk to you and help you out. But there's so many positions, even locally, right here in Nashua, that folks can run for and get a taste of it. So it's not as intimidating, if one would say that, to be a state representative. You could start right off locally.
Sure, you can do that. You know, that's only some meetings at night. You don't have to go up during the daytime like you do if you're a legislator. But it's a good way to start. And it's, again, you make more friends here when you know you can do something. If you see something that's not running right in the school or in the road care or whatever, you can make a difference.
Sure, the waterworks, the budget committees, I mean, all of the above, they affect your life, whether you're listening to them or involved or not. So better off being involved and be one of the people making that decision, or at least influencing that decision, than being on the other side, right?
Right. And you can get to see how your contribution makes a change.
Yes.
You know, and it's really rewarding when it doesn't take too long to find out.
No, it doesn't. And again, that's the beauty of public service. And we are blessed to live in this country. And, you know, everyone says that. I truly feel it in my heart, especially if you've ever traveled internationally. And I'll give you an anecdotal one. My daughter had the opportunity through school to go to Tanzania and visit a girls' school over there.
Oh, really?
When she came back and got in the car, I can tell you all about it, but I'm sure you can imagine, you know, they had to have guards to guard the girls in the school. It's that terrible over there, and the whole water and all of that. When she came back and I picked her up, she goes, I am so grateful that we live here. I mean, you could just hear it and feel it just coming out of her, because she saw something at the age of 16 that most kids will never experience. And she can truly appreciate what it means to live in the United States.
Right, right. I don't think people understand the difference. Even here in the United States, if they lived here 100 years ago, they'd be surprised at how we live now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they wouldn't recognize it, really. We've improved. We are the star on the hill, is whatever he said.
We're the last city on the hill here. We've got to defend this. We really do.
I mean, in New Hampshire, it's the people that work on it, really, and truly, because none of it is this overpowering influence where you're making a six-figure salary or anything like that. And you're doing it because you want to do it, and you're helping out not only yourself, but everybody else.
It's very true. And because of that, and because we have, I truly believe these are all interrelated, nothing sits alone, is why people want to come to New Hampshire.
Right.
It is the life we have here. It is the freedoms we enjoy. And we need to protect them, because there's always someone next door who thinks, well, they shouldn't do that. They shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So we need to protect those freedoms and let people make choices for themselves here, rather than government dictating everything to us. And so that's why we're here. That's why you've run for state representative. That's why you're doing what you're doing here as a public service. This is just a way of giving back. And that's what I do. I don't get paid.
Yeah.
This is my own dime coming here and everything I do. And do you know what, though? It's my way of giving back.
Yeah.
And helping people and helping our state.
Well, it just gives you a feeling that you made a contribution. You did something in your life that other people benefited by.
Well, it goes back to that saying in 1962, not ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Right, yeah.
From a Democrat president. And I live by that. It's like, what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I do to make this a better place, not just for me, but for my kids. And, maybe someday I'll have grandkids, but to make it better for everyone and make people's lives better. That's really, as being a human, that's what it's about.
Well, I don't know how you're going to do any better than you have. You're going to have to just fight to keep on doing it as well. So I don't know. You have anything special in mind that you're going to do differently in the coming years?
Well, this is my top secret file here, so I can't share it with you.
Okay.
No, I'm only kidding.
Right.
I think we continue to build on our successes. We've got a great leader in Governor Sununu. He's leading us. It's, everyone has their own druthers, but you know what? We're in great shape. In talking about the opening of New Hampshire, we're starting to see other states open. We're going to be the first state in the Northeast to open up totally. I can almost guarantee that. I don't know anything special, believe me, I don't know anything. But I really feel that, because I don't think he likes this as much as we don't like it either. I mean, we hate to see this. So I know he's right on the edge of wanting that to happen, as we all are.
Well, he's pushing for the schools to get back for that.
And then this huge vaccination going on up at the Speedway. I mean, these are things that are really going to make a difference and let us open up totally. So with him at the helm here, and all of us, as we say, rowing in the right direction here, we can keep New Hampshire moving in a great direction with low unemployment, no new taxes, keep our taxes low, and keep this a great place for everyone to live. I truly believe that.
Are you going to do anything to, I don't know, like have some kind of not a show, but a group meeting with the people, having like a fair or something like that?
We're wait and see when things open up. How's that? Because it's really hard right now to say what we're going to do. Mind you, we are going to, unfortunately, start going into the presidential cycle again. It used to be what? Every 4 years, starting 2 years prior, but it seems like even before the ink is dry out the election cycle, we're already starting the next one. So I think in the next 2 years, we're going to start seeing, maybe on both sides, certainly on our side, candidates starting to trot up to New Hampshire.
Right.
So we'll be having events with a lot of people who are coming to find out and test the waters for running for president here. And I'd love to see people come out and hear these candidates and hear what they have to say, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, because you can always learn something.
Well, I think what we want to do is do a little bit more socially to get people socially mixing,
Yes. Well, when we open up, we can do that. Right now we're on Zoom.
Yeah. I think people are just getting restless, really.
Oh, we are in our Zoom attire.
I know the kids are. I have my grandkids that a little tired of looking at the computer.
Yeah.
And trying to study on that. It's kind of hard.
It's been difficult. And I think of my daughter, who actually is a very good student. She did okay, but I think about the kids who struggle, to maintain attention, and they really do need the hands-on. This has been just devastating for them and their parents, and they're falling behind. We've got to open the schools to save these kids. We have to. It's for the kids.
Yeah, not only for the direct education, but for the social contact.
Oh my goodness, yeah, we're social creatures. We
Yeah.
need to see each other and talk, and we need to hug again.
Okay. No, that's good. Well, I wish you all the best. And
Sure.
we'll have you coming back in a couple of months maybe and finding out what some of the good ideas are for the summer.
I would love to be back, and hopefully we'll have a lot of events lined up with
Right.
people coming in, and we can all talk to each other, and we don't have to scream on text to each other. So I'd love to see people and love to talk to people and share ideas and thoughts about how we
Okay.
can make this a better state.
Yeah, good. Well, I know you'll be a good leader in that. So
Thank you.
Congratulations, and we look forward to
Well,
it.
thank you so much, Carl.
And thank you for coming.
You bet.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.